Let's do this first. I'm going to go. This is something I'm going to do that's a little bit different. One of the things I really wanted to do with this channel was really, I didn't want this to be a channel where I'm like, oh, this is how you make IPA. This is the definitive way to make hazy IPA. This is the definitive way that you make Munich Helles. Nothing like that. First of all, because I don't have the authority to speak from that place. But what I wanted to be able to do is I wanted to be able to show you kind of the journey of a brewer, right? Somebody that is continuing to aim, meaning that is a constant growth course that I am on, to encourage you all in that way, whether you're thinking about brewing, a job that's not brewing, day-to-day life stuff. I think it's a really healthy way to approach things. And I also wanted to show you, like my journey, right? My professional journey. And so kind of at the beginning of these, I think I'm going to do a little segment I like to call the March Career Update. If you're saying that's a terrible name for this segment, come up with a better one and let me know. I'm probably not joking. Career March Update. February was a really busy month. It was taxing, both professionally and personally. Just an intense month. Working on a lot of stuff on the people side, right? Because my new role does have a management component to it as well. One which I'll say is so rewarding. I've been really focused on trying to provide opportunity and a path forward for the folks that I work with in the brewery. I think that's a big part of the role of management, is to see more in your people than maybe they see in them. And sometimes they see it, and you're tasked with nurturing that process, right? I've really been enjoying it. We are going to be making a hire soon on the brewery side. So I've been going through the interview process. We're going to talk about this a little bit later too. Interviewing is complicated. I don't know how many of you have done interviews before. I mean, not, interviewed other people, right? I try not to use cookie cutter HR questions. Another thing that I tend to do wrong in interviews is I tend to talk too much. Sometimes I laugh with my wife about the fact that I do, a 2.25 hour live streamed show that's, there's people asking me questions and interacting, but it's really just me talking to, the ether on some level. So I know I like to talk, but I think it can be a real detriment when I'm doing interviews in the way that, one, they're not talking and I'm not getting to hear what they have to say. But two, I think I would oftentimes tell people exactly what I wanted to hear. So for instance, something that's really important to me is this. How do you feel about it? Well, I think it's important to me too. Giving just these really C grade HR interview questions, and so I really tried to step my game up. A little bit later, one of the questions that we're going to handle is I'm going to drop on you the questions that I came up with. I didn't Google a list or anything, and they're heavily informed by different books that I read and different podcasts and different things like that. So, maybe not everything is, everything is derivative of something, I guess, right? We'll drop those later, and it might be an interesting way to keep some of that conversation going a little bit on the career side. So, but interviewing has been fun. I've also been working on some deep dive training videos to accompany our SOPs. As Sonder is growing, we're going to we did a little over 6,000 barrels last year. We're shooting for 7,000 this year, or a hair more. Growing company needs to have appropriate SOPs for a wide range of reasons, right? And so I want to couple them with this training series, this video series. So by and large, I want it to be something to where it prevents training telephone. When you have 6 or 7 people in the brewery, you bring somebody new in, and then they hear a different way to do something from everybody, or as information is passed down from person to person, it changes. So we want to avoid that. We want to create a reference point, and ultimately we want to have a tool that will shorten the growth curve for people to become competent and what would be beyond competence, proficient excellent at carrying out those tasks. So that is the March career update. But I will also say the last 2 months I've been working very hard in the gym. I've been much more reasonable though, and I've been taking it slower because I'm not in my 20s anymore. But I've got to tell you, and I really need to encourage you. I know sometimes your body can be killing at the end of the day, and if you're young enough that it's not, don't take it for granted. Go out there, get some movement. Start wherever you can. You can go for walks. You can do body weight stuff. Calisthenics are great. Get out and move. Get your heart rate up a little bit. You're not going to regret that, and stretch that body a little bit too. So I have been following that advice for the past couple months, and honestly, this February time period was so stressful for me that I don't think I would have handled it as well if I wasn't taking care of my body physically. I'm somebody that's fortunate enough to have an amazing family, incredibly supportive friends, and those things are fantastic, and they're probably the most important thing. The way in which I'm most blessed. But taking care of your body is almost like thanking those people, especially your immediate family. When I take care of my body, I feel better. Mentally, I'm better, and it's less work for my wife to have to help me through things, right? Because we want to be able to have that person there for us, but we want to pull our own weight as much as possible.